Hello and welcome back to the sideboard. This is Kilo, and today for you we have a blue-black Reanimator deck. You could call it Sultai. It does have a forest in it. It does have two green cards, three green cards if you count the one in the sideboard. Um, Likelihood of you actually casting those cards pretty slim to none, but in this deck you're actually looking to pitch them in the graveyard and bring them back via reanimation. So real quick, we'll cover that land base that's a little awkward with the one forest. It's four choked estuaries, one evolving wilds, two fetid pools, four islands, one forest, four sunken hollows, and eight swamps. Um, Pretty straightforward. It's actually one of the cheaper land bases you could run right now. So the land base itself, I don't have anything bad to say about it. In the testing we ran, the two color land base is just so smooth. You can pretty much pick when you want your lands to come in untapped, or if you have to even worry about that at all. So um, I definitely think that a two color deck right now is a lot more powerful than some of the three color decks. So even though this does have technically three colors, I'm still going to call this the blue-black version. It uses early game interaction like Fatal Push, Grasp of Darkness to clear the board. Um, Mid game board or early mid game board sweeper here in Yohini's Expertise. This card is clutch. It's absolutely amazing. Every time that you top deck it, you're going to be happy 9 times out of 10. I've actually even used it to kill my own champion of wits so that I could bring them back the next turn. So, I mean, there's just a lot of good interaction there with Yohini's. This is definitely the better deck for Yohini's Expertise. Mainly because you have these great 3 mana spells to cast off of it. Um, Oath of Jace off of Yohini's Expertise just feels great. A Champion of Wits, after you just cleared the board, drop a Champion of Wits down, he survives. Feels great. Um, let's see. Strategic Planning, another great card. This is our early filter. So during the early game, our plans are to either control the board or to fill our graveyard so that we can better control the game in the late game. And in the late game, we are quite powerful. So this is how we get to the late game. And then once we get there, we get to do some really, really cool stuff. Um, we have Kalidas Trader of Get. This is the cheapest creature in the deck, other than Champion of Wits. This is more times than not, if you have this on a turn 4 or so, you're probably just going to drop it and try to pull out a kill spell with it. 9 times out of 10, you'll get that Grasp of Darkness, or you'll get a two for one of them trying to kill it. A lot of times, if you can just block something, let them go ahead and finish it off. You've gained your life and you got a zombie out of it. Usually works pretty good. I would say Cletus has probably less interaction with some of the other cards than most. However, Cletus is very vital in this deck for the zombies and a couple other things. There's definitely a couple um, decks out there that just die to Cletus. So if you have a Kalatas Trader to get, definitely going to want to put one of those in here. Second card that we're bringing back, Ishkanograph Widow. I say second, but in all reality, this is the number 1 card to bring back. This is the number 1 reason that this blue-black deck needed green. Um, this is going to be your stabilization. Sometimes by the time you get to your reanimation spells, you're hurting. You're in a bad position. You're definitely needing some blockers. Ishkana provides all of that. Can definitely clog up the board, buy you some time, and that 7 mana ability where a target opponent loses 1 life for each spider you control becomes relative. You may just end up sacking your spiders to Razakath, but then again, you may end up killing Ishkanah herself over and over and over again just to bring her back and netting a lot of spiders. I think the most I've drained anyone for is 9. So um, that's that's quite a large chunk of their life total once you start rolling. If you really clog the board up, Ishkanah can be a way for you to get out of it, even if you never can swing. Then we have the Scarab God. This is this would be one of the first Reanimator spells that we're actually going to cover here. This is both a Reanimator target and Reanimator spell. So do not underestimate the beginning of upkeep ability, as like I said earlier, you will have some zombies. Let's point out the zombie interactions really quick. Kalitas makes zombies. Champion of Wits, when he comes back as a zombie, anything brought back from the Scarab God is a zombie. Anything brought back from Ever After is a zombie, and anything that Liliana brings back becomes a zombie. So, this could almost be considered your high-end zombies deck instead of cheap aggro zombies. You will have a lot of zombies in this deck. I have scryed 5. You normally just win immediately after that, but I have done that. So scry 5, I don't know if you know this, but you look at all 5 at the same time, that is huge. So this card, really, really good. Don't think that you need me to tell you that. Okay, so let's get into a couple of the little more fringe cards that you just don't see. Demon of Dark Memes. Sorry, Dark Schemes. I think at the shop everyone calls this Demon of Dank Memes. Anyway, this card, also great. He enters the battlefield, he puts -2/-2 down on everything, and then for everything that dies, you get a energy. Once you get up to 4 energies, and yes, this is the only way to create energy in the deck, but it does work. Once you get up to 4 energy, you may pay 3 mana, 1 black and 2 colorless, to return a creature card from the graveyard, from target creature card from a graveyard to the battlefield under your control. It's pretty good, especially against token makers. I think last weekend I brought back a Demon of Dark Schemes and a Noxious Gear Hulk at the same time off of an Ever After, and killed Marionette Master, and then had Demon of Dark Schemes come down and sweep the board and kill all the little servo tokens before he got his sack outlet. This was pretty heartbreaking for him, but it netted me like 8 energy, and the very next turn I brought back his Marionette Master, and yeah, things got I actually brought back my Scarab God, and then brought back his Marionette Master with my Scarab God for 7 mana. So that wasn't bad. 3, and then to get the Scarab God back, then activate the ability for 4, bringing back his Marionette Master. I now have a 4/4 Marionette Master and 3 tokens and a 5/5 flyer. Yeah, it was over for him. So just really good things. Noxious Gear Hulk. There are a lot of combos you can do with Noxious Gear Hulk. Not combos, but soft interactions to keep you going when you're in Razakath. When you're rotating through Razakath Ever After combo or a loop, Noxious Gear Hulk is a very vital part of that, along with Ishkanah. Sometimes you'll actually just have Noxious Gear Hulk kill Ishkanah, and then you'll just sack the Noxious Gear Hulk next turn to do it again. So every 2 times that you sack a creature, in that case you would be netting 1 life, drawing 2 cards, any 2 cards from your library. So there's some really, really powerful interactions. So I definitely think that this deck might be one of the stronger decks running the Razakath Ever After combo, which is exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for a deck that can support that loop better than others, and so far this is doing well. Looking at the sideboard here, we have two negates, two gifted Etherborn. Gifted Etherborn are really, really good against aggro decks. Um, just puts Bristling Hydra on the back burner. Bristling Hydra can't really attack in when you have an gifted Etherborn. Gonti the same way. Gonti the same way. It just really puts the brakes on, but actually gives you some card advantage. I mean, yes, you're paying 2 more mana for it, but you're pulling a card off the top of their deck, and in a deck where you can actually reuse this Gonti more than once. Um, Gonti is really, really good here. Dream Stealer, another great creature we have in the sideboard. Dream Stealer is phenomenal against control. Using an activated ability to eternalize and then swing for 4 is really, really good. We have 3 Doomfalls because Doomfall is just utterly amazing. We have 1 to the Slaughter, which is very good for us taking out planeswalkers, things like that. We have 2 Flaying Tendrils. Flaying Tendrils is a really good card, especially against, you may not believe it, but you bring it in against the green-black decks and red decks both. Both because it can be cast off of Ihini's expertise to get up to 5. It'll let you get up a lot higher. I have even brought it in against some of the teamer decks if I think that they're going to come off of their smaller creatures, and that Fatal Push will not be as strong because teamers got a lot of 3 mana creatures in them. Flaying Tendrils is really good, especially if you get to bring it off of Ihini's. We have 1 Lost Legacy, which is great for those combo decks. If you need to go get an Ulamog, or if you need to go get Approach of the Second Sun, which is probably your biggest target. This comes in against the Approach of the Second Sun, and from what I can tell is definitely the worst matchup. So Lost Legacy is very, very good there. Dream Stealer is also good in that matchup. You'll also use Lost Legacy basically for anything with Approach of the Second Sun, any type of enchantment combo that you just can't deal with, because we don't deal with enchantments being in blue-black. New Perspectives and Ulamog, yeah. And then we have Manglehorn. I don't think this card needs any explanation. Yes, we're not really expecting to cast it. However, we can bring this back from the graveyard all day. It's not a problem. Just having it on the battlefield is pretty much what we need. If they kill it, they put forth effort to kill it, and then we get it back later. It's no problem. But 1 Manglehorn really came as a clutch card in the few times that I did bring it in. So highly recommend this Manglehorn in the sideboard. Okay, guys. Well, that is blue-black Reanimator, Sultai Reanimator, if you will. The reason I don't want to call it Sultai Reanimator is because we are testing 5 Reanimator decks this week. It started out with 4, then someone came up with another version of the Reanimator that I just had to try. Real quick to go over those decks. There are quite a few versions of Reanimator. However, we're looking for a version that can run the Ever After Razakath combo. So 90% of those are going to be a Liliana Death's Majesty deck. We're just trying to find the right color combination for that. So far, this is the blue-black version. There is a Sultai version, and the reason I'm separating those two is because the other version actually runs green cards and a green land base. So I'm actually going to call that the Sultai version. We'll be testing it a little bit later today. And then we tried the Mardu version, where you're using Refurbished to bring back Gear Hulks, and you still have Liliana and Razakath Ever After, that sort of thing. The record with that deck was only 1 out of 3, so we went 1 and 2. The record with this deck is 3 and 0. This deck went 3 and 0. So far, this deck wins. We would definitely need another deck to go 3 and 0 before I even try to compare it to this, because from what it looks like, this is the real deal. But we're going to do some more testing this week. Just check us out on the sideboard and Twitch, and let us know what you think about the decks. If you think there's something we can add, let me know in the comments. And if you like the deck tech, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And we'll see you next time.